I'm Brickwood Galuteria. Welcome to Kupuna Power, a show for and about our seniors. During the show, we'll be displaying the senior helpline phone number, 768-7700. It's manned by the staff of the City and County Elderly Affairs Division between 7:45 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. And they can refer you to government agencies and support services that specialize in the health, safety, and well-being of our kupuna. We're discussing senior financial abuse, particularly something called the advance fee fraud. Some of you may know it as the Nigerian scam, but the one that's been victimizing our seniors here in Hawaii is from Jamaica. Here's what's happened to one of our kupuna. Our kupuna sits alone at home in the dark because her electricity has been turned off. An 88-year-old widow with no children and a retired educator, she is a victim of the Jamaican scam. Working out of Jamaica, the con men called her home in Kalihi, notifying her that she had won a lottery worth millions. However, in order to release the prize, she had to send them some money. At first, it was small amounts, $500 at a time. But as time passed, the amounts increased. The scammers continued to call her over the course of 5 years, assuring her that if she sent all her bill payments to them, they would manage her finances. They were so convincing that our kupuna sent them more than $100,000. But of course, they never paid her bills. She lost her money, her utilities were cut off, and she never received 1 cent of the promised lottery millions. Unfortunately, this story is becoming all too common here in Hawaii. To address what the city and county is doing to stop these financial crimes against our kupuna is Scott Spalina, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney for the City and County of Honolulu. Aloha, Scott.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here with us. Now, the first question, what is advanced fee fraud?
Advanced fee fraud is when a senior's contacted and they say, congratulations, you won something, whether it be a large amount of money or let's say an insurance card to help them navigate through Obamacare or whatever like that. Now, the advance fee is, in order for you to get the money, you have to pay us first. You have to pay us either a fee, a tax, a transaction fee, something that they require before they send you all this money.
Yeah, but nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
But they keep calling.
They keep calling because what they're trying to do is, first of all, wear down the senior. And we're noticing that a lot of seniors are polite. They want to talk to somebody. Oftentimes they're lonely. So they will allow these people to come into their space, allow these people to make telephone contact with them, sometimes even go so far as to go into their home. And because of that, the senior is almost inviting the criminal to be a part of their life and gain that trust that they have.
Now, these calls are coming from offshore. They're coming from out of the country.
They're coming from offshore out of the country. However, the thing is that even if you have this caller ID, these criminals can fool your caller ID. They could be calling from Jamaica. They can be calling from Puerto Rico. And they can be calling saying that your screen will say Bank of Hawaii and have an 808 number. And so you have the kupuna picking it up, thinking it's from the local bank, when actually it's halfway around the world.
It's pretty sophisticated, right?
It's very sophisticated because they're making so much money doing it.
So we're not talking about a guy in the basement at home somewhere in another country. We're talking about
We're talking about organized crime. We're talking about factories set up in different countries with rows and rows of guys in front of their computer monitor, next to their telephone, calling up these people, or having actually the computers call up hundreds of numbers an hour.
How do they know it's kupuna? How do they know?
They don't know, unless what they can do is they can buy these lists. Let's say the kupuna enters a contest to like buy a $20 longs card or to buy possibly a trip to Vegas. Then what these contest people do is they don't throw away or shred up those little entry forms. They make lists and they sell it to telemarketers, and those lists get sold over and over and over again.
This is interesting. You're involved with intervention. How do we prevent these things from happening?
The number one thing is awareness, prevention, education of our seniors, because they are so trusting. And a lot of people, when they hear elder abuse, they think, oh, that's a mainland crime. I mean, we live in Hawaii. We have Aloha Spirit. We have Ohana taking care of us. That's not true, though, because these criminals know that probably, I think it's 1 in 5 seniors in Hawaii are over the age of 65. That's a huge number. In several more years, it's going to be 1 in 4. There's a lot of seniors out there with a lot of assets that these criminals are literally drooling over.
So what do we do? We talk to the family talks. I guess it's embarrassing. I mean, if I was a senior, I'm a retired educator, I might even have been a CEO.
Yes.
How can I, convince myself to talk?
You see, and that's the whole thing, is it should not be embarrassing. Like when you go to a magic show and you see the magician and he has all the props up there and like he pulls the rabbit out of the hat and you don't know how he did it, are you embarrassed that you don't know how he did it? No, because he's a magician. He's a professional. He's been doing this for years and years, and he's able to pull the rabbit out of the hat without anybody knowing. These criminals are just like professional magicians, in that they can do these cons, they can take the money without you even realizing you're being ripped off.
What are some of the signs that, if I'm a family member,
Okay.
what are some of the signs I got to look for from a kupuna that's kind of telling me they might be in trouble?
I would look at their mail. That's one thing that a lot of our scam artists are contacting our seniors through the mail. Also, engage in your parents, what they're doing in their lives. Just one thing that drives me crazy is that you have people calling me saying, my mom and dad, they're being ripped off. So-and-so's taking money from them, so-and-so's taking money from them. And say, when was the last time you talked to them? Oh, a couple years ago. And it's only when I found out that I'm off the will now, or it's only when I found out that my inheritance is in jeopardy, that's when they make contact with their mom and dad. It's like, no, you have to be involved with your mom and dad almost every day. Talk story with them. Know what their schedule is like. Saying, Mom, why are you going to the bank today? Oh, I'm going to the bank because this person called me saying that I have to pay them this fee in order to get $20 million. If you did not have that conversation with your mom and dad, then that would not have happened.
This is something that I think it's a kako thing. Everybody got to be involved in this, So that explanation at the beginning of this segment was true to form. I mean, that happens a lot.
Unfortunately, we're seeing the Honolulu Police Department and our office has been seeing the last 6 months a huge spike in these crimes. And the reason we're seeing it is because it's working. These criminals are literally getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from Hawaii citizens, Hawaii Kupuna, every day.
Every day, huh? Well, I tell you what, we're going to have you back on the show, and we're going to follow this as much as possible. Get people to call you at the office. Are you the only guy who does this?
No. Keith Kaneshiro, when he came aboard and was elected, he expanded our unit. It used to be I was the only guy. Now I have myself, 4 other attorneys, several law students, we have investigators. So yeah, it's not just me.
Well, you're with us here today, and we're very appreciative
Appreciate
of that.
that.
Mahalo, Scott. You're valuable. Your insights are valuable for us. This is a growing problem, victimizing our kupuna. Remember, if you're a victim of any scam and need help, call Scott at the Elder Abuse Justice Unit Center, 768-7536. Okay? Mahalo nui loa.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming to Kupuna Power. Up next, Kupuna Power takes a look at the 86th annual Lay Court selection for the City and County of Honolulu, which this year was an all-Kupuna affair. But first, see if you know the answer to this Lay Day trivia question. When was the first Lay Day celebrated?
So this is where we have contestants from our community who come and they compete for to become either the lay queen or king in this case, or we could have lay princesses or lay prince. This year we have all women contestants. About 1978 we started rotating the age groups before any age could compete against one another. So we started rotating age groups. 18 to 30 is our Opio group, and 31 to 54 is our Makua, and 55 and above is our Kupuna group. So we have like ages competing against each other. We have 4 contestants this year. 1 is a return contestant from previous year, and the other 3 are first-time entries. 1 actually in 2012 was our Mo'i Wahine for our Aloha Week festivals, so she was the queen then. And we have our other 2 ladies. 1 is an instructor for the University of Hawaii at Manoa Hawaiian Studies Department. And our other ladies, I think she works in travel industry. have 4 areas of judging. The first is our Kumuhana Okale, and that's lei making.
I'm tying my hula, my flowers, and my work together to honor Wahia. Now, when the song was
It comes from the people. So,
I think it's a gift that we were blessed with in Polynesia.
exactly.
I mean, as Hawaiians, we cherish who we are and we share.
Yes.
They have 1 hour to make a lei on site. They also have to make 2 sample leis that they bring in so that they can show that they know more than one style of lei making. Our second part is they speak in English and Hawaiian, so Olelo Pelikane and Olelo Hawaii. And that's where they'll talk about why they feel they're qualified to be the lei queen.
I enjoy wearing flowers in the Hawaiian attire on my daily basis because it makes me smile. These adornments epitomizes my Hawaiian being and the essence, highlighting the importance of what Lei Day means to me.
When I create a lei, I think of the lei as of the family. The flowers have grown up together in the same patch, the same dawn, and the same dusk.
My ohana and I would wear a lei that we kui the night before. My mama would send one of us to place the lei and gently kiss their cheek on someone who didn't have a lei. So we would make a lei, wear a lei, and give a lei.
As a child, I looked forward to Lei Day. It was exciting to wear our new mu'umu'u and the leis that we made. Do you remember wearing the coconut hats? Oh, they were decorated with all the plumerias and the hibiscus. Don't see them around anymore, but we all try to make our own.
And then there's also a portion where they speak in Hawaiian. They don't have to be native speakers, but we want to make sure that they're at least able to convey the message in Hawaiian and at least pronounce the words correctly and get that feeling across.
Haku ia I ka lei, o ka pikaki oi, o ka avapuhi oi, o ka lei.
Nani vali nā pua e mohala nei I Hawaii kula iwi. Ai ho'o heno hoia.
Nani vale nā pua e mohala nei I Hawaii kula iwi. He ho'o heno hoi ia I ku'u maumaka.
Nani vali nā pua e mohala nei I Hawaii kula iwi. He ho'o heno hoi ia I ku'u maumaka.
And then they compete in hula. And then, of course, they're judged on their overall demeanor throughout the whole day. So that's our 4 areas of judging. We select judges from the community that have expertise in these areas. So we have 5 judges this year. So we have Uncle Hanalei Ramirez. He's very knowledgeable in just beauty pageants, also in lei making. We have Mrs. Rona Rodenhurst, who's also a Hawaiian language instructor, and also a master lei maker. We have Auntie Betty Jenkins, who is a kupuna from the North Shore, well-rounded in a number of areas. We have Auntie Juliet Galutaria, who is also one of our lay queens. She was our first Kupuna queen. And then we have Kainoa Danes, who is from the Oahu Visitors Bureau. So he's also very knowledgeable. He's also a hula dancer, lei making. This is actually like the 86 lay queen selection. In 1927, that was our first lay day in Hawaii. Our first queen, Miss Nina Bowman, was named in 1928. And so we have an 80 plus year history of celebrating lei making, the craft around it, the culture around lei, how it envelops all of us. And so we're looking for that in our ladies. But it's a really lovely event where you can actually have an opportunity to talk with the contestants, speak with past lay queens and courts. And then between now and Lay Day, we get our court prepared for Lay Day, where we start at Kapiolani Park at about 9 o'clock in the morning. We have our lay contest exhibit. We have the investiture of our queen in court, and just everything there is to celebrate lay. We have, besides our past queen and courts that come to help us celebrate and to support us, we also have Ngā Kupuna o Ko'olau, and they are from our senior group at Kaneohe. And so they also come to help us by providing music and dance just to help with the festivities of the day. And you don't really even have to know a contestant. You come here, you'll get to know them. And you get to talk story with them, and then you'll want to be here to support them, not only here, but then at Lay Day itself. It's just, I don't know, there's such a warm feeling when you come here, and I think everybody just has so much aloha for each other, even if you're a stranger.
The challenge that I found regarding the competition was the olelo portion.
Aku. A ike anu o ko mau kupuna, he puanani au ikale o ku'u mau makua.
Because I don't speak Hawaiian fluently, that really worried me that I would not be able to do it properly. Today, I find that the language is so different from what I was brought up, being raised in a home that we spoke, not we, but my grandparents and everyone else spoke fluently. I had one of my cousins who was brought up with the old way. And so I asked him to read this for me and just give me the right phrasing. And so he did, and I thought, okay, it was the way I felt that I would be doing it, but I wasn't sure on the phrasing. So I practiced that, and truthfully, I don't know how I did it on Saturday, really. But it had a lot of meaning for me, and I felt like I was just talking to you, to someone right there. And I'm very pleased that it did come out right.
Ahele nani no ho'i I ku'u mau keiki I ku'u poli. Mahalo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Louise Kikahili Nani o Kauahi Wade Alina.
They said they couldn't believe it, that they didn't even know. They thought, she doesn't speak Olelo. They didn't know I spoke Olelo, and everything else that I did, they said I had really good positive things. I don't know how to say it. It was wonderful. I couldn't believe that was me. For me, the hula I danced was Kimo Hula. I first heard that song, really beautiful, sung by Palapalai, that group. And when I heard that, I could feel myself moving, but I didn't quite understand all the Hawaiian words. So I looked it up, and then we were taught that in our class at the center. And not knowing that I would pick that song, but that song, for me, when I read the background music regarding the story of that Henderson family and their home on the Big Island, I could actually see the place, and I could feel the love that they had for their daughter who got married there, and all the flowers in the garden, and I could smell everything, and I just felt that spiritual feeling that they had, the love that they had for their child. And so I had hoped to express that in the movements of the song, and I'm glad I did it because it is a beautiful song, and it had a lot of meaning back there, what they call the mana of that place. So I just enjoyed doing that. We were always taught to be charitable and have compassion and understanding of others. It's not always easy, but we do our best to help others. I do work with the public a lot. I get to meet a lot of people from many places, and I feel that they ask me questions, and I just explain to them about Hawaii as I know it and what I feel, and try to tell them the different places that they should go and see. And I think I would represent Hawaii very well. I'd be a great ambassador with the aloha spirit. With the lei portion that we needed to do for this contest, I was a little apprehensive because I'm not a lei maker like many people. They make leis for everything. But I first learned to make my first lei was with my mom. And we made a haku lei using these white flowers, and I can't remember the name. It's some kind of a berry, but it's so beautiful. And I made my haku lei and wore it to church. And I really felt like an angel at that time because I was little then, you know. So from there, I learned to do the willy leis and kui leis mostly. And we would pick the flowers up and make leis and take them to the graveyard. That was the first thing we did. And from there, I really enjoy making the kui leis because the flowers were plentiful. My favorite lei making is the kui method, which is stringing with a needle, one on top of the other. Just a simple lei that you see all over today. And using the pumerica, it's more plentiful. And there's others. You have the avapuhi, the ginger. It's the same method. Then we have I did the haku lei using the willy method, which is gathering, which is what I have on my hair, is gathering the flowers and the greenery and using the raffia and winding it around together like a braid kind of a thing, winding it around. And then the other one was the Healy method, which is the braiding that we use that you see a lot with the tea leaf leis. It's the braiding method. So I had that on my table, and I did that. My actual experience with lei making started when my mother taught me the first one, and then my tutu teaching me how to string the pumeria leis, and that was all. I learned a lot by watching and listening. I have not had any professional background on lei making, but I'm always interested to see the combination of the flowers and the greenery that they use. You can be so creative with what we have in Hawaii. And that's very interesting to me. And it's very artistic that these lei makers come up with all these different methods and styles. But mine is just simple, watch and listen. One of my hobbies is oil painting. And I've always done a little bit of drawing and painting when I was a child, not thinking where that would take me. And after my children were in school, I had some time, so I took a class with a painter that painted on location in oils. And from there, I went to the zoo fence, is where I started, at the zoo fence. So I was there maybe about 14, 15 years, and on the weekend, on Saturdays. And I just continued on from there and went out on location and painted. I do paint with the oils, and I do a palette knife. I paint only with palette knife painting. And I prefer that because it gives the texture, a little more texture. And I do the Hawaiiana, which is our local scenes in Hawaii. And sometimes people will ask me, I don't see those colors. And I said, you know, you really have to look. If not for painting, I would not see the island as I show. I'm out there and I see the turquoise waters and green, and there's violet in there that shows the coral reefs, and you look up into the Kola Mountain and you see some red. That's the red dirt. A lot of people don't realize that. And then they say, that doesn't look right. I said, yes, you have to look really good because there's mountains above the other one and in the back, and when the shadows change, you see it. So I said, you really have to take time to look. And I think people take our island for granted, but you know, it's so beautiful, and the greens, it's amazing, really amazing. We have so many greens, yellow green, deep greens. It's just beautiful out there. And when the sun is shining, it's just gorgeous. When I'm out there, I'm in a whole different world, and it's quiet, and you're by yourself, and you really, for me, it's like a spiritual thing where you kind of communicate with nature. You listen to the sounds, you smell the salt air and the breeze that comes, and you feel when the soft breeze comes, you can feel it on you. It really is beautiful. To receive a lei, it shows that someone really cares about you, they appreciate you, and they just want to show that feeling to you. When I give a lei, I give it with the same idea that I acknowledge what they have accomplished perhaps, or that they're leaving and we're sad to see them go. And just to show their appreciation, I show their appreciation of who they are and what they have done for us or anyone else. But it shows love. And the lei, to me, it's a circle. When I look at the lei, it's a circle. And I feel that is like, it combines the whole realm of love and that feeling of togetherness, and that you always have family. It's ohana to me. That's what I feel on the lei.
Make a lei, give a lei, wear a lei, take time to smell the flowers, enjoy the entertainment, and enjoy the park. This is the beginning of May Day, Hawaiian style. Mahalo.
When was the first Lei Day celebrated? The answer, the first Lei Day was observed May 1st, 1928. There you have it. In our interview with Scott Spolina, we tried to shed light on the financial scams perpetrated on our kupuna. The Jamaican scam is just one of them. In future shows, we will address other frauds that assault our vulnerable seniors. I'm Brickwood Galuteria. Join me next week on another episode of Kupuna Power. Aloha.